When Caitlin Clark stepped into the Pro-Am spotlight, few believed she'd make waves in golf. Critics had long pegged her as a one-sport wonder, electric in basketball, limited elsewhere. But the first few holes told a different story. Her swing carried the poise of a veteran, her eyes steady, her tempo deliberate. What started as polite applause turned to stunned silence, as her shots found precision most professionals crave.
If you're here for the real story and not the filtered version, subscribe. And if you're sticking around for the next meltdown, you better definitely subscribe.
Then came the record-breaking moment, the swing that not only shattered numbers, but dismantled every preconception surrounding her name. By sunset, Clark wasn't just a guest in the sport. She had become its headline. This stunning feat wasn't about chasing validation. It was about redefining potential. Clark's breakthrough illuminated how mental toughness and adaptability can dismantle walls built by doubt. Her story became proof that athletic brilliance knows no boundaries, that the same fire fueling a championship mindset can ignite success in any arena. What unfolded on that course was more than a record. It was the quiet revolution of an athlete proving that greatness doesn't stay confined to one field, one game, or one expectation. Caitlin Clark just broke a golf world record, and fans, analysts, even longtime pros are stunned. Not because she did well, not because she had potential, but because she stepped into a completely different sport than the one that made her famous and dominated. This was supposed to be a novelty moment, a fun cameo at a Pro-Am event. The kind of thing where a celebrity athlete shows up, swings a few times, signs some autographs, and heads home. But Caitlin Clark didn't show up for the photo ops. She showed up ready to compete. And by the time she walked off the course, she had made history. Let's be clear, this isn't just a basketball player dabbling in golf. Caitlin broke a world record. Her performance wasn't pretty good for someone new. It was legitimately great. Her shots were powerful. Her putts were calm, focused, and precise. And the whole time, she made it look like it was just part of her regular routine. People came expecting a sideshow. They got a showcase. This all started at a Pro-Am golf event. Again, not something where anyone expected to witness a record-breaking moment. But from the first tee, something was different. Caitlin didn't look nervous. She didn't look like a guest. She looked locked in, poised. Every swing was deliberate. Every shot had purpose. The stands were packed, even early in the morning. Fans had shown up just to catch a glimpse of her first swing. And when it happened, the response was instant. Social media lit up. Clips of her swing were all over Twitter and TikTok within minutes. You didn't need to be a golf expert to see what was happening. She wasn't playing it safe. She was going for it. That first shot? Clean, direct, powerful. The kind of shot that makes everyone go quiet for a second, just to make sure they saw it right. And from there, just kept going. She played with control, not chaos. With rhythm, not hesitation. She didn't flinch under pressure. She didn't need time to warm up to the environment. She was ready from the start. By the end of her round, she had made golf history. The news spread like wildfire. Every major sports outlet covered it. Headlines couldn't keep up. Basketball star breaks golf record. Sounds like a joke at first glance, but happened. And the more people watched the footage, the more undeniable it became. Caitlin Clark hadn't just crossed over into golf. She had taken over. And this wasn't some lucky run. There was no fluke energy here. She had clearly prepared for this. Off-season wasn't vacation time. It was training time. She focused on strength, conditioning, and building her physical foundation. It showed. Her mechanics were tight. Her execution was smart. She played with intention. What made it even more compelling was how unshaken she was. The cameras were on her. The crowds were watching. The pressure was high. She didn't just survive it. She thrived in it. That calm demeanor? That's not an accident. That's the result of years of being tested under pressure. And it drove people crazy in the best way. Her supporters were vindicated. Her doubters? Quiet. You could almost feel the narrative shift in real time. All the people who claimed she was only built for basketball suddenly had nothing to say. Because now, Caitlin Clark wasn't just dominating basketball. She was winning outside of it, too. Her rivals felt it. You know they did. The same ones who downplayed her talent on the court suddenly had to deal with her success in another sport. There's something deeply unsettling about seeing your toughest competitor expand their skill set beyond what you can match. It changes the whole dynamic. Caitlin's rise in golf also redefined what athletic versatility looks like. We've always known she had the drive, the focus, and the fire. But to walk into a different sport and break a world record, that sets a new standard. And this moment, this single event, has already started changing the way people talk about her. She's not just a basketball star anymore. She's a multi-sport athlete, a cultural force, a walking challenge to anyone who thought greatness had to be confined to one lane. Her performance exposed something else, too, how we limit our expectations of athletes. Caitlin blew past those limits without even acknowledging them. She didn't need to prove herself. She just did. And that's what makes her such a disruptive presence in the sports world. Her ability to adapt, focus, and execute across multiple sports is rare. And her success isn't just technical, it's inspirational. She's not just influencing fans, she's influencing the future. Young athletes saw that moment and realized they don't have to pick one path. They can do more, be more. Caitlin's story is hitting at the perfect time. As sports culture becomes more open to crossover talent, her success is the blueprint. She didn't wait for approval. She trained, showed up, and took it. And the media's role here? Massive. Her swings went viral. Her name trended across platforms. Sports media amplified every angle, and fans across the world watched it all unfold in real time. This wasn't just a performance, it was a global moment. That visibility matters, because it cements her as more than just a sports figure. She's a symbol for resilience, for multidimensional talent, for quiet confidence that delivers when it counts. The mental toughness she showed during her golf debut, that's something you can't coach. You can't fake it. It's earned. It's built through criticism, through high-stakes games, through being underestimated again and again. And now, the game's changed. Athletes like Caitlin Clark are redefining legacies. They're not just chasing trophies in one sport. They're building influence across the entire landscape. It's no longer about one career, one lane, one identity. It's about the full picture, the full potential. And Caitlin? She's already ahead of the curve. Even conversations around gender and race in sports are shifting because of moments like this. Her success challenges stereotypes. It demands people rethink what excellence looks like, who gets to be versatile, and what it means to lead. Her rise is rooted in talent and hard work. Nothing more, nothing less. And that's exactly why it resonates. There's no shortcut here, just results. This wasn't just a good day on the green. It was a turning point. A moment that proved Caitlin Clark's greatness isn't tied to one jersey or one stat sheet. It's tied to her mindset, her discipline, her ability to block out noise and raise the bar, no matter what sport she's in. And the ripple effect? It's only just beginning. Because now, people are going to ask, what else can Caitlin Clark do? That question alone tells you everything. She's no longer being evaluated on what she has done. She's being watched for what she's about to do next. So if you've been following her since her college days, congratulations. You've been watching history in the making. And if you're just tuning in now, buckle up. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Did you expect her to go this hard in golf? What do you think her next move should be? Like the video if you're still in awe. Share it with someone who swore she was just a basketball player. And subscribe for more breakdowns of the biggest moments in sports chaos and pop culture shockers. Because Caitlin Clark isn't just breaking records. She's breaking expectations. And we're all just trying to keep up. There's something that shifts in the air when an athlete doesn't just perform, but disrupts. Caitlin Clark didn't step onto that golf course to try. She came to change the narrative. And when that ball took flight from her first tee shot, it wasn't just cutting through wind. It was cutting through years of doubt, every lazy critique, every whispered yeah, but can she, that's ever been thrown her way. Because for so long, her greatness was qualified. Sure, she's amazing at basketball, but can she keep it up? Sure, she broke records in college, but how will she translate to the pros? Sure, she's got court vision, But is she versatile off the hardwood? Yeah, she is. And now, there's a golf world record with her name attached to it to prove it. That one swing, and the flawless follow-through that came with it, became the answer to every one of those tired questions. She didn't just silence critics. She left them in awe. And not because she yelled, not because she boasted, but because she showed up and did what she always does. She executed. And that execution, it wasn't an accident. Caitlin Clark didn't just pick up a golf club for the first time last week. This was prepped. This was intentional. This was someone who understood that greatness isn't about being good at what you've done. It's about being great at what you've never done before. This moment wasn't just Caitlin Clark's debut in a different sport. It was her saying, with every perfect swing, I'm not here to fit into your expectations. I'm here to surpass them. The golf world didn't see it coming. And honestly, why would they? Pro AMS have a history of being lighthearted, casual events. They're where athletes and celebrities go to show a different side, not to dominate. But Caitlin didn't treat this like a casual weekend. She treated it like competition. And when she stepped up to the green, she played like a seasoned pro, not a guest. Her control? Precise. Her body language? Composed. There wasn't a hint of nerves. Not even a flicker of hesitation. From the moment she swung, it was clear. She wasn't trying out a new sport. She was taking over another one. And this doesn't just matter for golf fans or basketball diehards. This matters across the board. Because what Caitlin Clark just did wasn't just athletic, it was cultural. It was a signal that the future of sports doesn't live in silos anymore. It lives in adaptability, in bold moves, in athletes who aren't afraid to redraw the lines around what success looks like. She didn't just break a record. She broke a pattern. And the ripple effects? Immediate. First, media reaction. Within hours, the clips were everywhere. Not just on ESPN, but across social platforms, lifestyle blogs, viral tweet threads. You name it. Caitlin Clark had officially gone sports viral in a way that's rarely seen outside championship moments. And this wasn't for winning a title. This was for crossing over and commanding respect in an entirely different arena. Second, public reaction. Fans flooded timelines with disbelief and admiration. People who had never watched a golf event in their life were suddenly searching for footage of her putts. Parents were showing their kids. Young athletes were watching the replay thinking, wait, maybe I don't have to choose just one thing. And third, her critics. The ones who dismissed her as a product of media hype. The ones who insisted her dominance would stay locked to the court. The ones who thought her confidence was too bold, too loud, too much. Suddenly, they had no play left. Because Caitlin didn't just outperform. She overturned every outdated assumption they had about her. What she did in that single event, with that single swing, was shift her entire public perception. From basketball star to athletic icon. From NCAA record breaker to multi-sport disruptor. And what makes this even more electric? She did it without losing who she is. No gimmicks. No ego. No forced rebrand. Just Caitlin Clark being Caitlin Clark. Focused, unbothered, and casually elite at whatever she touches. This wasn't about attention. This wasn't about being the headline. It was about standard. Caitlin sets one for herself that doesn't waver based on the sport, the audience, or the stakes. She came into a new environment with the same mindset she brought to college arenas packed with tens of thousands. Show up, lock in, deliver. And if we're being real, this kind of crossover success is something people love to celebrate when it happens to male athletes. The Bo Jacksons, the Deion Sanders, the Michael Jordans testing the waters of baseball. But when it's Caitlin Clark doing it, the conversation suddenly changes. She's not just challenging what's possible in sports. She's challenging who's allowed to be seen as exceptional across multiple disciplines. And that's a whole new level of impact. Because yes, this moment was about athleticism, but it was also about representation, about shattering the idea that female athletes are only dominant in their primary sport, that they shouldn't dare expand, that they should stay in their lane. Caitlin Clark didn't stay in her lane. She built a new one, then sprinted ahead of everyone else in it. Her success in golf sends a message to young girls everywhere. You don't have to be one thing. You don't have to limit your ambition to what makes other people comfortable. You can be excellent wherever you decide to show up, as long as you're willing to work for it. And Caitlin has worked. Her offseason wasn't filled with distractions. It was focused on development. She doubled down on physical strength, balance, and control, all of which translated directly to her golf performance. That wasn't coincidence. That was strategy. She's not just coasting on raw talent. She's building on it, reinventing it, applying it in ways no one else saw coming. That's why this moment matters. Because it's not just that she played well in another sport. It's that she excelled. She didn't adapt slowly. She didn't need a learning curve. She went out and played with the same composure and focus that made her a household name on the court and proved that her greatness travels. And now, everyone's watching. Fans are tuning in across demographics. Sports media is recalibrating its coverage. Brands are taking notice of her marketability not just as a basketball player, but as a global athlete. Caitlin Clark didn't just raise the bar for her own career. She raised it for every athlete coming after her. Because now, being great at one thing isn't the ceiling, it's just the starting point. And maybe that's the most disruptive part of all. She made history by doing the unthinkable. She made it look effortless. And she did it without ever stepping out of character. No celebration tours. No attention-seeking headlines. Just results. She's not loud about her greatness. She just makes sure it's undeniable. So as this moment continues to echo across the sports world, the question now isn't if she'll do this again. It's where. Where does Caitlin Clark go next? What sport will she dip in next offseason? What part of her already massive potential is still waiting to be tapped? And more importantly, who's going to stop her? Because right now, the answer looks like no one. Now that the dust has settled, let's talk about what this actually means. Because Caitlin Clark didn't just make a splash in the golf world. She cracked it wide open with one record-breaking performance. She forced people across sports, media, and culture to completely reevaluate what they thought they knew about athletic potential. Before this, she was a basketball phenom, the face of women's college hoops, the player who brought record TV ratings, packed arenas, and a generational scoring legacy. But after this, after stepping into a completely different arena and outperforming the field, she's no longer just a basketball story. She's a sports story. This is the kind of moment that lives in highlight reels for decades. Not just because of what she did, but because of how much it redefined. This wasn't just athletic crossover. This was athletic reprogramming. And in real time, we all watched as Caitlin Clark rebranded the idea of what an athlete could be. Not with a press release, not with an ad campaign, but with a swing. Let's be honest, the sports world wasn't ready for this. It's not built to process someone excelling at the highest level in one sport and then casually stepping into another and breaking a world record. There's no playbook for it, no headline template, just stunned silence and scrambling narratives. And maybe that's why this hits so hard, because it wasn't loud, it wasn't overproduced, it wasn't overhyped. It was just execution, clean, surgical, and unshakable. Her record wasn't handed to her. It was earned in front of a crowd that didn't know what to expect and left not knowing what they just witnessed. And now, the comparisons start. Who else has done this? Who else can? The answer? Almost no one. Not because others don't have talent, but because very few have the combination of talent, discipline, mental toughness, and vision that Caitlin Clark has. She's not just playing sports. She's mapping her legacy. And now, that legacy spans more than just one game. That's why this moment isn't a fluke. It's a preview. She's shown us what happens when you stop treating athletic greatness like it has to be confined. When you stop telling elite players to stay in their lane. When you let raw talent, sharp focus, and relentless work speak for themselves. It's no coincidence that she trained harder than ever in the offseason. Strength, control, balance. It wasn't just for basketball. It was for everything. She knew what she was building, even if the rest of the world didn't. And now that we've seen it, it's clear. She's not just preparing for a season. She's preparing for an era. Because Caitlin Clark isn't interested in being remembered for just one thing. She's building something bigger, something broader, something more disruptive. She's already shifted the conversation around what female athletes are allowed to do. Now she's shifting the conversation around what any athlete can achieve when they refuse to be boxed in. And the most impressive part? She's doing it with complete calm. There is no panic on that course. No nerves. No overthinking. Just a quiet kind of dominance. The kind that says, I know exactly what I'm doing. I've done the work. I belong here. That's what really shook people. Not just the numbers. Not just the record. But the ease. The way she handled pressure like it was background noise. The way she played like she had nothing to prove. Even though, let's be honest, the entire world was watching to see if she would fail. She didn't. She thrived. And now, her critics have a decision to make. Do they keep shifting the goalposts? Do they keep pretending this isn't extraordinary? Or do they finally admit, Caitlin Clark is something we haven't seen before? Because when you break a world record in a sport that isn't even your main focus, there's really only one conclusion left to draw. This is bigger than basketball. This is about redefining possibility. And Caitlin Clark is leading that charge, one quiet, devastating performance at a time. So what's next? That's the question now, right? What will she do next offseason? What sport will she explore? What record will she break next? At this point, betting against her just feels ridiculous. Because she keeps doing the thing no one expects and making it look easy. That's why this story has legs. It's not just a moment. It's a shift. A signal that the era of the one-sport specialist might be fading. And the era of the multi-sport game changer? It's already here. And it's got Caitlin Clark's name all over it. So yeah, go ahead. Watch that swing again. You know the one. The perfect drive that went farther than anyone thought it would. The one that broke the record. The one that broke the silence. And then drop your thoughts in the comments. Did you expect her to go that hard in her golf debut? What sport should she try next? Feel like if you're still speechless. Share this if you know someone who said she was overhyped. And make sure you're subscribed, because Caitlin Clark's just getting started. And you're going to want front row seats for whatever she conquers next.